What's up, fight fans? In today's video, Conor McGregor explains why he bet a huge $500,000 on Michael Chandler to beat Paddy Pimblett. Even fighters like Ronaldo Moano are now saying Paddy is the real deal. But the big question remains, who will Paddy fight next?
Elbows through the guard from Paddy! Chandler's covering up! Yes, lad! Get him, lad! That's the best performance of Paddy Pimblett's career by a country mile.
Kamro Usman also shared his thoughts on which fights the UFC should set up next. Meanwhile, Colby Covington says Paddy will never get close to a title shot. Michael Chandler posted an emotional message after his loss at UFC 314, and Khamzat Chimaev dropped a mysterious post hinting at some good news.
This is what I wanted, this is what I needed, and I got it.
Volkanovski is back on top, and Arman Tsarukyan just shared a strong message with fans. So without wasting any time, let's jump in. Paddy Pimblett just shocked everyone by dominating Michael Chandler at UFC 314. Now that he's beaten a dangerous fighter like Chandler, people are starting to give him the respect he deserves. Even Renato Mo, who once called Paddy easy money, tweeted, "Paddy is not easy money." Of course, the conversation has now changed, but there are still big questions about who Paddy will fight next, and how the UFC will handle the super competitive and unpredictable 155-pound division. Before Dana White could even say a word, Ariel Helwani and Yahoo Sports stirred the pot by posting 3 potential matchups.
Listen, if they do Charles Oliveira against Ilia Topuria, if Islam moves up to 170, all I'm trying to say is take that Justin Gaethje fight. This version of Paddy Pimblett beats Justin Gaethje.
I know.
Does anyone disagree? Take that Gaethje fight and stamp your ticket to a title shot.
Paddy definitely looks ready for a title shot. Yes, the competition will only get tougher from here, but he's proven he can hang with top fighters. Plus, with his wild trash talk, he's always fun to watch. But Colby Covington is completely sure that Paddy won't even get close to a title shot, let alone win the belt.
It's a little he needs to stop running my name through his mouth. Just stay relevant, because he's just using me to stay relevant, because he's never accomplished anything. He's never going to get to a title fight. He's never going to win a title, period. He's an irrelevant bum. So when he starts cutting all that weight and cutting chromosomes, and he wants to come to a real man's weight class and fight a real man, he can get his ass whooped. So he needs to keep my name out of his mouth, otherwise he's going to end up with my foot in his ass. And that's a
Paddy looks more than ready for a title shot. The road ahead won't be easy, but he's already shown he can go toe-to-toe with the best. And with his loud trash talk and wild energy, he keeps fans entertained. Still, Colby Covington doesn't buy the hype. He says there's no way Paddy even gets near a title shot, let alone becomes champion.
He mentioned Dustin, he mentioned Gaethje, he mentioned Arman, the fight that would really make sense. Can I get a drum roll? Ilia T. Or these guys have the storyline is there, bro. They're both stars in the UFC. If I'm the UFC, I'm booking Justin Gaethje versus Islam, and then I think you do Ilia Topuria on that fight. Whoever comes out of top gets the next title shot.
You're absolutely right, Henry. If the UFC just like, hey, you know what, let's make the biggest fight we can in that division, because Paddy the Baddy is up there as far as fame right now in that division. I like it, Henry.
So you prefer the Ilia fight?
I like the Ilia fight because if Justin Gaethje's fighting for the title, Dustin wants a retirement fight, Arman and Charles Oliveira are going to do that again. Hey, you hit the nail on the head. Guess what? Winner is ultra popular now and ready to challenge for that title.
UFC newcomer Aaron Pico thinks a fight between Paddy Pimblett and Ilia Topuria would be way more exciting than a possible matchup between Islam Makhachev and Topuria.
After watching Paddy fight, last night, I want to see Paddy versus Ilia more than I want to see Topuria versus Islam now.
Wow, why? What is it about that performance?
I don't know. I think Paddy's style is, his character, and it was just fun. And then they have some bad blood. I think there was some things that happened in the hotel, I don't know, maybe a year ago, and I think that would be a fun fight. I think Paddy would. That would be a lot of fans would love to see that. They would be more excited. I think they'd be more excited with Paddy versus Ilia than Ilia versus than Islam. I don't know. I don't know if that fight's gonna happen, but I know if he wants to come up to 155, what better fight to make Paddy versus Ilia?
I think he beat Islam Makhachev. No, I do not think. But you gotta look. Paddy's only 30 years old. Islam's 33. As time goes on, when Paddy's 33, Islam's going to be 36. Do you think Islam's going to still be fighting in mixed martial arts if he goes 3 more years of whooping everybody's ass? The answer is probably no. So you give Paddy enough time to keep on working his way up the ladder and getting better. He's 30 right now. Give him 3 more years. The division's going to change.
That's the best performance of Paddy Pimblett's career by a country mile. He has proven to be much better than I thought he would be. He looked fantastic tonight. Good for him. Dude, like I said, I don't give a shit who wins as long as it's the rightful guy. The person who looked better, who didn't get screwed by the judges, who just deserved to win on that night. It's Paddy. It's Paddy. It's Paddy.
Paddy dominated him. Dominated him. That's a win for Chandler. He likes being dominated by other men. Domination. Get him out of the rankings. Him and his Jefferson County Javelins. Get him out the rankings. Get him out the rankings.
Recently, Arman Tsarukyan responded to fans asking about his next fight in a social media post. He said, "Many people ask when my next fight is. I'm staying calm, training hard, and waiting for my moment. Sports aren't always fair, but I believe if you work hard, don't give up, and stay true to yourself, everything will come. The most important thing is to be ready when the time comes." Conor McGregor shared why he bet a massive $500,000 on Michael Chandler to beat Paddy Pimblett, and his reason was classic McGregor. He admitted that a part of him thought Paddy might win. McGregor posted, "Chandler, you mother, rest up, fair play. My history with Mike and the KO odds made me take the risk, but my head was saying Paddy. He's getting better, still has work to do. What's $500,000 to a guy like me? Remind me, it's more than your purse. I'll get it back. Actually, I just did." After Chandler's loss, Henry Cejudo suggested it might be time for the veteran to think about retirement.
He probably has to get one more, just consider retirement. That's a lot of beatings, man. You know, I think Chandler could have been the best in the world. And I even told this to him. It's like, he's too much of a crowd pleaser. And that has really bit him in the ass. You know, you guys remember like Mike Perry too? Like Mike Perry was a crowd pleaser too. And, you know, it's just only a certain time before the UFC just says, "Hey man, thank you for pleasing us, but we gotta move on." And I feel like Chandler, they're probably gonna, at this point, maybe the UFC might give him a younger guy. And that's typically what happens in this game.
Michael Chandler posted an emotional message after his loss at UFC 314. In the photo, he's holding his son's tiny hand with the powerful caption, "Never out of the fight." It says it all. He wrote, "As long as I've got these heartbeats and hands to hold, I've already won." So listen up, fam. If you're watching this, drop some support for Chandler in the comments. This guy's a real warrior. Every time he steps in the octagon, it's a war. He never plays it safe, never coasts. He fights with heart and leaves everything in there. Win or lose, you've got to respect that. Much respect, Mike. See you back soon. After UFC 314, Diego Lopez sent a respectful message to Alexander Volkanovski. "Congrats, Alex, and thank you for this fight." Volkanovski replied, "You're an incredible fighter and an even better person, brother. Nothing but respect. Wish you all the best." Volkanovski also shared some heartfelt words after reclaiming his featherweight crown.
Alexander Volkanovski opened up with some emotional words after taking back his featherweight crown.
Because when you get yourself back out, I guarantee you're going to be twice the person you were than when you were down there. So you can literally grow so much just because of that adversity. So that's what I mean by, it's a privilege. You can treat it, your mindset can treat it as a privilege. If you can treat it as a privilege and have that mindset when you are going through adversity, I guarantee you are going to be a resilient, durable person who can accomplish so much because you won't shy away from a challenge. You won't shy away from adversity. You'll try and get through it and make something happen, so they're going to make you strong.
Honestly, it was an inspiring fight because he's obviously still the best featherweight to do it.
Yep.
In my opinion. And I think to fight that fight against a guy that has such momentum and aggressiveness and power behind his hands.
Yeah.
after 2 knockout losses, you know, and to hold it together for that fight, to push out the doubts, to do what he did, and to walk away with the strap, it's super remarkable.
Yeah.
Super outstanding.
A video recently surfaced showing Diego Lopez's hometown, with the entire neighborhood packed into the streets to watch his fight against Volkanovski. Volkanovski's coach, Joe Lopez, believes that Moser Evloev is the only fighter who truly deserves a shot at the title.
As Moser, what do you think, man? Like, are you excited about the potential of him being next? There are some fans out there that say, look, it's maybe not the most exciting fight, but he's done so much in the division, he kind of deserves his crack at the belt.
Well, yeah, realistically, he does deserve it, but, you know, there was no talk of him at all at the presser. There was no real talk of him at all. Everyone was talking about Yair and everybody else except him, you know, and yeah, it's sort of a bit sad that I guess he's not a very, I guess, exciting, and he doesn't bring much to the table, but he's unbeaten and he's on a run. If anyone deserves a shot, it's actually him, you know, but you know, it's up to the powers that be. You know, we were supposed to get that shot with Ilya, and they gave it to Max, so you just never know how or what the powers above us are going to tell us, you know.
Khamzat Chimaev just got the MMA world buzzing with 2 simple words: good news. That's all he posted, but for fans who've been waiting months to hear about his next fight, it was enough to light up the internet. No name, no date, no opponent, just a hint. And when it comes from Chimaev, it usually means something big is happening behind the scenes. It's been a while since we saw Chimaev in action, with injuries, visa issues, and other behind-the-scenes complications keeping him out of the cage. But now, it looks like we might finally see some movement. The big question, who's the opponent? Will it be middleweight champ Drich Du Plessis, or has the UFC already lined up something else? Get ready, because if this fight gets announced, it could shake up the entire division. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.